Great to see y'all. Great game by both teams. You know, the thing that was great about that game, you had two great conferences, Big Ten, ACC football, going head to head, and what I think is one of the most underrated bowl games out there. And we just appreciated the opportunity to come to Houston, Texas, and be part of the Lone Star State for a few days. And at the end of the whole deal, just really excited and proud of our kids at Syracuse. You know, we had 9 graduates out there playing today. Kids already got their degree. A lot of people don't know a lot about Syracuse with the football program. Coach Boeheim's done an unbelievable job with the basketball team. But we want to build this tradition up to where everyone in this country understands what we're all about. And the thing we have is we have great student athletes, kids that go to class. We check all their classes, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
And I just couldn't be prouder, more proud. I did check the grammar on that. Prouder is right, Mom. But more proud is righter, I guess. But just so happy and pleased to represent Syracuse University. Strong senior class, a senior class of resilient young men. They got knocked down a few times this year, you know, against some great teams in the ACC. One of them was going to win the national title, in my opinion. And you know, the kids have learned so much from this season, and I just couldn't be happier with the results today. You know, it would have been nice if we could have just knocked them out, won by 17 or something, but that's kind of not our way this year. So I think it was appropriate that we won in that fashion. And this young man on our left is really representative of what we are as a program. Young man from New York, stayed in New York to come and play at Syracuse. Wasn't the prettiest guy in the world on the field yet, but he's getting prettier by the minute. He is handsome though, my daughter told me that. And I really could be happier with the way you played today, partner. And with that, any questions?
All right. I'm really interested to hear what you think about this. You kind of offhandedly said, you know, ACC team, national champion, just a moment ago, am I correct? I'm wondering, because, you know, you hear during bowl season, conference versus conference, that seems to be one of the main themes every single year. When you prepare for these for bowl games, in a game like this, do you talk with your players that not only are you representing Syracuse, you're representing the ACC, or do you tell them that it's just Syracuse versus Minnesota? Or?
No, we do. You know, the thing we talk about first and foremost, it's about the men that put the pads on. It's a player's game, and the brotherhood we have. You know, we promise each other a few things. We did this morning in our team meeting, right? And you know, the great thing about football is it's an opportunity to make memories within your extended family, and that's what football is. Any team that's worth a hill of beans is going to go out there and play for one another and not the self. We want to be extremely unselfish team because those are the lessons that take you far into the future as you become a dad, a husband, you know, somebody that's given back to society, and we take that stuff serious at Syracuse, and it starts with our team. But then you extend it to the conference, and we do. We have a lot of pride. Do we like to get our butts kicked by Florida State and Clemson? Hell no. You know, we finished in our division behind those two teams, but there is a sense of brotherhood in the conference too. We're happy to be part of that ACC conference. Dr. Gross did a great job making sure we could hitch our wagons to that conference at a time where I think we hit that wave in a timely manner, and I really believe within the next 10 years it'll be us in the SEC. I really do, and I'm from Big Ten country, you know, and I love the Big Ten, always have. But I think when you look at the demographics of what the ACC conference is all about, you look at all the major awards that were won this year from individuals. We swept it. ACC swept it from the Heisman on down, Gursky, everything. And I know everybody talks about the SEC. But the ACC's on the rise, and under the leadership of John Swofford, our commissioner, that had great foresight and ensuring that the ACC was in front of the curve. I think because of his forcefulness, I think you're going to see a national champion in Florida State and representing the ACC conference. And we're just happy at Syracuse to be a part of it, and we look forward to getting to a BCS game here as soon as we can.
Next, in the back, and then you, sir.
Coach, you mentioned, and Terrell, you can answer this too. You mentioned Terrell getting prettier by the day. What are some of the things that you've seen Terrell develop on from the beginning of this season to this type of game where you really put it together now on the ground through the air?
Right. Well, his intestinal fortitude, his guts, are what make him. He was raised by some really strong people that were great people and had to leave early because they were so good. Only the good die young. And I think that he remembers the lessons he learned as a youngster, and he takes those to the football field. From a technical point of view, he's got a great coach in Timmy Lester, one of the most underrated quarterbacks coach in the country, in my opinion. He's always on about getting his feet right, about his hand coming off before the route's open, and all those things, and I see him work at it. If you're diligent and you continue to work hard, you keep pounding that rock, eventually it's going to split right down the middle, and that's what I've seen with this youngster next to me. How about you? You want to add to that?
Yeah, he's definitely on me a lot. It's annoying at times, but the minute he stops, that's when I'm in trouble, So definitely just, I would say, I got better at leadership, not even on and off the field, learning how to, be the quarterback and not just a quarterback on the team, So really just the leadership and, learning my players around me who could do what, or for instance, what can I do? I had to work on my long ball and started overthrowing guys, So it's all coming together as time, But it was a good experience, and I'm ready to look forward.
Did you have a follow-up, sir?
Just on the punt return by Brisley.
Yeah.
How important was that not only to get you guys close to score position and win the game, so have the game, but also from a play calling perspective and give you a little more flexibility?
I think it gave Coach McDonald a little more flexibility. Got two tough, hard-nosed South Florida Haitian kids in Richie Desir and Grizzly Esteem, and it was a win-win situation deciding who was going to go back there. Brisley's, he is quick as a jitterbug, and we felt like maybe he'd give us a little something, and I thought it was a good call on Fred Reed's part, Tim Dow's part, great decision to put him in. Believe in both he and Richie, but I do. I think it gave us momentum, a shorter field, an opportunity to get that ball down the field, so we didn't have to go as far as we did against BC.
Was that punt return, was that play development?
It's emotional, when you get into the coaching, when you're in the middle of the game, though, you don't have as much time to get emotional unless there's a timeout and you're screaming at an official or something. In between, the few seconds before, the ball's kicked or the snap starts, you kind of just locked in, you're watching the play, and then you're trying to think of the next thing to do. For me, I'm not calling plays or defenses anymore. I'm just trying to keep them organized. Tell him not to yell at his tackle when he jumps off sides and stuff, right? Stay steady and smooth. So for me, when you're kind of in the middle of the fight, you really don't have time to get too emotional. And after the fact, that's when the emotions come, or between snaps, timeouts, that sort of thing.
Okay, over here.
Yeah, I mean, Terrell, this season you had a lot of critics. What you did today and what you did against BC. What did you tell them? The last couple games of the season, and coach, jumped in as well too.
I didn't really say nothing to him. When you start, going outside of the elements and just thinking about the people outside of our doors, that's when you start messing up. And coach does a great job as, keeping everything in our family, because we're a tight-knit group, so everything just stays indoors. So they doubted us from the start. They said we were going to be in second to last place, and we ended up in third on the two best teams. So when you start thinking about that, it tends to just drift away because it has no meaning to you, basically. All you're worried about is your team and moving forward and what you could do at the next level.
Chris?
Scott, when you guys took a 14-3 lead, it looked like you turned to one of your assistants and said, "I owe you $50." Was that somebody else? Was that somebody making a good call, or what happened there?
I did. We had a situation where we were going to go 2 downs. At third down, and if we wouldn't have got the first down, it would have been, opportunity to go again. 4th and short, it would have been. But DeAndre said, Shafe, you ain't got to worry about it. We're getting this first down. I said, you promise? Because we were doing a lot of promising today, weren't we, Terrell? He goes, I promise, Shafe. I said, you promise? I said, I got $50. If you make it, I owe you. If you don't, you owe me. He goes, I about won that bet right now. And yeah, it was a bet on the field. Can't take yourself too serious. Everything's overrated, except for the relationships we have with each other and that extended family that makes our bond as players and coaches just so sweet. It was a great opportunity today for our kids to make some memories, and they did. And what a great way for a young guy to send the seniors out with a victory, another victory, another bowl victory. Last year was a great victory at the Pinstripe Bowl with beating up on West Virginia and keeping that Schwartzwalder trophy. But it's nice to come down to Texas. They say don't mess with Texas, or don't mess with Syracuse in Texas is what we say. And just a great victory. So proud of these kids.
Coach, on behalf of everyone involved in the Texas Bowl, Terrell, congratulations on your MVP. Congratulations to you, Coach, in Syracuse on a great win. We'll have some players outside in the hallway. We'll have 4 others out there if you'd like to join us out there. Thank you all so much for your patience, and have a good evening.
Yeah,